Welcome back to What's Up Ward TV and What's Up Aboard the podcast. My name is Wardy Ward, and I'm the host of the self-help podcast that offers the everyday hero a safe forum to share his or her story. And our motto on this platform is everybody has a story to tell, but we just want to know what's yours. From our exciting guests and my research, you can always expect to hear about love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Do me a favor before we get started and make sure you hit that like, comment, and follow button because that helps us help you help others. And remember, sharing is always free 99. So if you want to tell somebody, please make sure you do that for us. All right, let's get into this. Our guest today is no exception to the rule. She has overcome amazing obstacles, raised a family, she worked a variety of jobs, and yet she remains humble as always. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeannie to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you
All
for the
right.
invite.
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad to have you here. I know you could have been anywhere in the world today, but you chose to be here with the Once Award TV audience, so it's our pleasure. So, what I want to do, I just want to jump right into this and get to know you a little bit better, and just ask you to tell us, where were you born at? Where did it all begin for you?
Okay. It started a little 50 years ago.
Okay,
No, I was
yeah,
born in Puerto Rico.
Puerto
I was
Rico.
born, yes, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. And I had two brothers. I'm the
Okay,
only girl. I have an oldest brother and a youngest brother, and was raised by, with my mom and my dad. Uh we grew up, in a household of two parents. Um,
okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, um, have a lot of fun as a child. Um, People said that I was spoiled. Maybe I was because I'm the only girl, the middle
Okay,
child.
maybe,
Yeah,
maybe not.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had a great relationship with my dad. I was closer to my dad than what I'm to my mom. I lost my dad 32 years ago. I was pregnant with my second daughter. When I lost him, he died of a heart attack. He was really young.
Oh
He was
wow, sorry to hear that.
47. Yeah, yeah. And my mom is still kicking. She's in Florida.
Okay.
She's
Yeah,
gonna be 82. Yeah, and both my
82.
brothers, 82. Both my brothers, they live in Florida too. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So two questions that come to mind immediately here. One, you said you were born in Puerto Rico, and two, it was just three kids, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what was your house like in Puerto Rico? I've never been there, so I imagine I don't even know what Puerto Rico is like. So
Hmm.
tell me what Puerto Rico is like, and what was your home like? How would you describe it?
So, it was a nice house, like nice size. It was four bedrooms and two bathrooms. A nice area. We live in a town close to San Juan. That's where I was born, in San Juan, the capital of the island.
Uh-huh.
Um, but we live in a town named Trujillo Alto, like south of San Juan, um, in a very nice area.
Yes.
We were very, I mean, back in the days, we used to play outside until it was dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the street that I used to live and I grew up, um, there was a lot of kids. There were like 20 something children. I mean, playing around,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
riding bikes and everything. So, I like it. It was really nice.
Nice, nice. So, if I'm correct, Puerto Rico is near Miami. Is it in that area?
Well, it's in the Caribbean. We're the smallest of the, I don't know how to call it, Mayor Antilles, and then
Uh-huh.
we're the largest of the minor Antilles. So we are like in the middle there. So it's for Cuba. I mean, yes, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and DR, Dominican Republic, then Puerto Rico, and then the Virgin Islands and all that.
Okay, I got it
Mm,
now. Because see, I was thinking, I didn't do my research on it, so I was thinking it was more that by Texas. So
no, no,
it's
no.
it's the other ways. It's so okay. So that makes sense why you eventually went to Miami because that's
Hmm.
did you, so you go ahead.
Mhm. No, no, no. I was gonna say we moved from Puerto Rico. We moved to Orlando, like Central Florida. Yeah,
Hmm. Okay.
yeah.
Now in Puerto Rico, I guess you guys get a lot of hurricanes down there as well too.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Every year. I mean, I think the worst, I wasn't there when it happened. In 2017, it was Maria.
Uh-huh.
The worst that I've seen, it was back in 1989. I remember
Hmm.
my oldest son, he was like a year old. And in Puerto Rico, well, the houses are like, like blocks and I don't know, the structures are
Yeah.
harder, I think, or stronger, I don't know. And the windows, they were like the Miami windows, the
Yeah.
aluminum or whatever. The winds used to open the windows, and then water was coming in, and we had a two-story house,
Yeah.
and then you can hear the wind. It was like a scary movie. You can hear like whoo, like doing
Ooh.
that noise, making that
Yeah.
noise. And my son, he was scared to death.
I
He
would
was
be
covering
too.
his ears. Yeah, yeah. So I think that was the worst, and that was Hurricane Hugo back
Hmm.
in 1989. So it came like straight to on the east side of the island, and then it hit the mountains, and then it just turned, like moved north.
Yeah.
But it did a lot of damage, but not as Maria. I mean, Maria was the worst. Yeah.
Mm. Man, that seems well, going through that. Well, how many have you experienced? How many hurricanes have you personally experienced yourself?
Yeah, a lot. The last one, I think it was like back because I moved from Puerto Rico. I moved in 1999, so like 1996, 1997, it was Hurricane George.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't remember the other one, but it was like those two. And then in Florida too, because when we moved to Florida, 20, I think it was 2004. I'm sorry. There was like four hurricanes back to back. Like we got the first one, it was Charles. And then like 2 weeks after that one, Ivan. And then Jean.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Jean, she just stayed there like, spinning in the
Yeah.
water. She
Yeah.
came in. I mean, that was crazy. Yeah.
Man.
It
Does that
was that
scare
was
you?
that was bad.
Are you scared of those hurricanes now since you
Not scared. I mean, because you will lose power, you will lose the water, and um, but
that's
as
scary.
long as you're inside, in a safe place, nothing will happen. Not close to the beach or something, Um, but yeah,
Yeah. Did you lose any loved ones to a hurricane or anything? Or
no, no,
wow.
no.
I've only seen them
Yeah,
on
thank
TV,
God.
so I thought it was like, people were saying get
Yeah.
out of town, people were leaving and
Hmm.
stuff. And
Hmm. I mean,
okay,
with hurricanes, you have time to prepare, because that it
okay,
will hit the island or whatever. Like, okay, so you have 2 days or you have whatever, a week to prepare. But tornadoes are worst. I mean,
okay,
I never been to a tornado, but yeah.
okay. So what made you guys decide to leave and go to Miami or Orlando? What
Orlando,
prompted that?
yeah. My oldest son, I have four kids, and the
Four
oldest one,
kids?
yes, four. The oldest one is albino.
Oh,
So he's the first one. He's the only one in my family. And we learned because I didn't know that. I mean, growing up, I used to see a lot of albino people, not kids, never saw one. My son was the first baby that I saw. When I saw, in the island, there's a lot of albinos.
hmm,
Um, and we didn't know anything about them. I mean, people used to say, okay, so if two black people got together, they can have an albino baby. No, I mean, it's a recessive gene. I have
okay.
it, my husband has it, and we learned having our son that gene comes from Spain. I
Ooh,
mean, there's a colony in I think it's Barcelona. I'm not sure. But I mean everybody there is albino.
mm,
So, we're mixed. We have African blood, we have European blood, and then the Taino, like the native Indians that used to live in the island.
yes.
So yeah, but he's the first albino in our family.
Hmm.
And they're low vision. So
Oh,
and then
okay.
they have problems, they cannot be exposed to the sunlight because they don't have any protection. So they can
Oh,
easily get like skin cancer.
oh,
Um So that was one of the reasons, because I didn't work. I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was battling with the Department of Education, trying to get him, because he was supposed to get like large print and then magnifiers. And
Okay.
in the island, I mean, it was really hard to get the help that he needed.
I see.
So we moved to Florida, and I didn't have to do anything. I mean, they gave him everything, like
Hmm.
large print books, magnifiers, everything that he needed.
Yes.
Um, so that was the main reason. Employment, I mean, I didn't work. My husband, he's a trucker, so he was making good money.
Okay.
Um, and our mortgage back in the days, it was only $278. That was like, yes. I mean,
278.
yes, that is crazy. But yeah, so that was the main reason that we moved. Um, and after that, I don't see myself going back to the island. I mean, I go to visit. Well, I lost my uncle last year.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
yeah, but I mean, I have like nephews, nieces over there, cousins. That's all I have left.
Okay.
Um, because my mom and my brothers are in Florida. So, but yeah, so when I go to visit and say, hey, hi, yeah. I eat the Puerto Rican food and then I come back.
Get out of there. Let me
Yes.
circle back to that albinoism. How did you know your son had the trait? I mean, what was the first sign that you knew? Was it just like the lighter colored hair, or did he have dim colored eyes or
Nothing.
something?
When I had him in the hospital, I mean, I was really young. I was only 19 when I had him.
Hmm.
I didn't know. I mean, I saw him and I'm like, yeah, he's white. White. He's
White,
really
white.
white.
Okay.
Uh, um, and and I thought, well, because my mother-in-law, she's really white, and then I'm like, well, maybe he's like his grandma. But then the doctors came, and they started explaining to us, okay, so he has universal albinism, and then you had to protect him, blah blah
Hmm.
blah. So I was taking him to the eye doctor since he was like 3 months old.
Okay.
Um, I don't know how, and to this day, I don't know how that boy. I mean, my husband, he's a trucker, and that boy. I mean, we grew up. My dad was a trucker too, and my grandfather. So
Wow.
it runs in the family, and I like trucks. So I drive trucks too. Oh, you saw my video. I think you saw that
Yeah. Yeah.
video of me
I'm gonna
driving.
talk to you about that. Yeah.
So my son, he was like maybe 4 years old, 5, and supposedly he's low vision, right?
Yes.
So he saw a truck coming on the highway or whatever. He was like, "Oh, that's a Kenworth. That's a Peterbilt." And I used to look at my husband, how he's
Right.
supposed to
Yeah.
be legally blind, how he can see, and we don't know how, but yeah. So, and I think it's because he loves trucks. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So how old is he now?
He is 35 years old. He's
Young
working
man.
on his master's degree. He's a
What?
chaplain at
Okay.
Riley. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's gonna get married this year. So yeah,
Wow. Look at him.
he
Good
grew up.
Lord.
About
Okay.
time. Late
Well,
bloomer.
I'm glad that you were able to take care of him in spite of not
Yeah,
knowing or so much about that because I know it had
yeah,
to be a challenge. Like I said, keeping this out the sun and different things like that. I know toddlers aren't one that want to keep a hat on and cover it up. So
yes.
kudos to you.
We used to look like the Adams family. Like, I mean, we used to go growing up in Puerto Rico. We used to go to the beach like every week, every weekend.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, so we had this big umbrella, and then the baby was splashing there in the water, and I was covering him, so
Oh,
he wouldn't get burned.
it's a
Yeah,
workout.
it was, yeah, it was. But he enjoyed he wanted to be outside all the time, and I'm like,
Good.
man, this boy,
Right there. So you said you had 4 kids total. What it's like 3 boys, 1 girl? What would have?
2 and 2. I
2 and
have
2.
2 boys and 2 girls, and it's very funny. This was not planned. Let me tell you what happened.
What
I
happened?
have my first one. His name is Alberto. Um, he was born on June 6th, right?
Hmm. Yep.
My second daughter, my second one, she's a girl, and she was born August 9th. Then my
What?
third one,
The
she's
same
another
year?
girl. No. 3 years.
Oh,
They're 3 years
say
apart. No,
what?
but I'm gonna tell you something about the dates that they were born.
Okay.
It was not planned because they were all natural births, right? So
Yes.
the first one was born on the 6th, the second one on the 9th of August, and then the third one she was born October 6th, and the last one is a boy. He's a soldier. He was born April 9th. So I have two that were born on the 6th of the month, and then two that were born on the 9th.
Wow.
And like I said, they were not planned. I mean, it
Yeah.
was not planned like that. So it
Yeah.
just happened.
Wow. So that seemed like a pretty big family because I guess if you came from three and that's four, that's not is that were you okay with having a family of four? Is that what you
Yeah.
wanted?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I remember telling my dad, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to have 4 kids?" And I'm like, "Yep, I want to have 4 kids." But yeah,
Wow.
but there's a gap of 8 years between my second daughter and my third daughter. So I was
Hmm.
going to the doctor. I'm like, "What happened? I want to have another baby,"
Yeah.
and everything was good, but yeah, it wasn't the time, I guess.
Right.
I
Yeah. 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 So, based off your upbringing, did you do anything different for your kids than what you had, or did you kind of raise them the same way?
I will say, that's a good question. Um, Discipline wise, I think it was different. Because I think my parents, they didn't do anything.
Ooh.
Like, I mean, not that oop, wait just a second.
Yeah.
'Cause my phone was ringing. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
So
fine.
discipline wise, I think I was like harder on my kids than what my parents,
Ooh.
were with me. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, but we are very close. We're a very close family, and we're always, I mean, even though we're here in Indiana, and then my brothers and my nieces and nephews are in Florida, most of them. When we get together, it's like we had never stopped seeing each other, or
Right.
um, yeah, sharing, and so yeah, so that part is the same because my parents were like that. My dad mostly. Um, we were always like visiting cousins and uncles and aunties, and you
Yeah.
know, but
Yes.
yeah.
So you said discipline wise, you were more of a spanker then?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the first two, see, my kids,
So,
they're like my older two. They say, "Ma, but these two, you let them get away with everything." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm old and tired." And I saw a difference in my body. Like I had the first two when I was very young, and
yeah.
then the other two, I was 30, 31, and 32, something like that, because they're only a year and a half apart.
Hmm.
Um, so I felt it in my body. I was tired. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I, let them do whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure you let the grandkids go in with everything then, don't you?
Mm.
They probably don't get touched at all.
Oh my gosh. No, no, yeah. I had to, yeah. Mm. I
Yeah.
mean, and they're like 2 years, and the other one is gonna be two in June. So, and my granddaughter, she's 5, but
Mm.
she doesn't spend much time here with me. Um, but the boys, yeah, they do.
Okay. So how many grandkids total now?
I have 3.
Three. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Uh,
Yeah.
would you consider yourself when you grew up? Would you say you were a middle class, poor, upper class? What would you say it was for you?
Mm. I will say middle class. I mean, we had, like I said, the greatest childhood. We used to go out on vacations.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I had a good childhood going camping and
Yeah. Oh,
never
nice.
had, huh?
That's
What
nice. I
did?
didn't get to do all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes. And my mom didn't work, even though, I mean, she went to college and everything. She was like secretary, you used to call it, right? Because she used
Yes.
to work for the Department of Education in Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
Um, but my dad, being a trucker, he was making like good money. Um, yeah, like
Mm.
good money. So
Okay.
there was other problems, like alcoholism, and he can get his check on a Friday, and Monday he was no money. He had no money.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
spending it women, and alcohol and things like that. But other than that, everything else was good. And that was
Hmm.
like, when he was older. Um,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
growing up, yeah, we had a good time. And
That's
I never was spanked. I mean, I was a good girl too. Never got in trouble.
what?
Never got a
Oh
spank.
my gosh.
Listen, I remember, and I don't know if I've told you this story before, but my mom, and this was like in the 80s, she bought me this LP, like the Cool and the Gang.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh, I was so happy, excited, and I don't know what I did to her. I talked back to her or whatever, and
Uh-oh.
she broke the the long plate on my head. I cried,
Mm-mm.
not because it hurt me, because I was like, but I haven't listened to it. It
I
still
guess
had the wrapper and
yeah.
everything.
Man, she hit you with
Yeah.
that. That was
Uh,
ladies' night then. If she hit you with the whole album, gee.
yes, yes.
Okay.
My dad never. I mean, he just had to say Genie, or say my name like my Genie, and that was it. I started
Mhm.
crying.
Yeah. Well, you're the only girl, so I guess they did kind of give you some leeway there. You sound like you were good. I just asked if where you ranked there because you seem so calm. I don't see you getting all off in the labels and having to have, like certain people like I might have to have I gotta wear a polo, I gotta wear this. You seem like you're so even keeled and not worried about that. So I just asked. So all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The next question I had about having a family of the size you have, and even though your husband was a trucker, did you ever worry about finances with a family? Because I know when I was a single parent, I did okay, but I was always, you
Mhm.
want your kids to have what you didn't have, and I was
Yeah.
always like, what if they need this? What if then? I just worried. Was that just me, or did you ever worry about that? Or
Yes, at one point, yes. When my two older ones, they were growing up, I mean, money was like, okay, I don't care. Yeah, you want Jordans? Okay, you get Jordans. Okay, we go on vacations here. We go blah blah blah. And I think being young, I didn't think about. I mean, okay, I need to save money
yeah,
for retirement or this or that. Um, but that changed, and a lot of other things changed. Um, me and my husband, we've been together for 37 years.
wow,
But there was a
37,
time that, uh, sorry,
37 years now.
37.
Dang, that's a long
So,
time. You can tell he come in the room. You just sense he's here. I can feel it. He's
yeah,
here.
yes, yes, I can hear him. So, no, but there was a time that I think it was before COVID. It was around that time. We split for a
Hmm.
year. He went back to Florida and I stayed here. And
Ooh,
then he came back. So when he came back, he had a heart attack. He moved back
oh
in
no,
2021,
a heart attack. Oh
a
my God.
heart attack. And
Oh man.
it was funny because we were going to the store to Walmart or whatever, and then he was pushing the cart and he's like, you keep going. I'll catch up with you. He
Hmm.
was out of breath and he was getting tired. And then one night, I mean, I hear him like in the bathroom, he was throwing up.
Yeah,
He was coughing. So I'm like, it's different because it was not like he was choking. It was different. So when
yeah,
I got up, he was crying and he told me, take me to the hospital. So, I mean, I'm not thinking, I didn't call 911. So I just changed clothes because I was, in pajamas. I was sleeping.
yeah.
I drove to the hospital and then I left him like in the emergency, entrance over there, the emergency room. And I told him, go so you can register. And I'm going to park the car and I'll be back. When I came back to the ER, he wasn't there. And I
What?
went to the triage nurses and I'm like, I'm looking for my husband. He was here. I left him. And and then they took me, back there and I saw he was gone. They were doing CPR on him. And when I saw that, that was very, very impressive. I started crying because I didn't know. And I'm like,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
the doctors were asking me, why you didn't call 911 and you drove? And then I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you
Yeah.
get nervous and you
Right.
react
Yeah.
in
Who
different
knows?
ways.
Right.
So, yes,
Man.
he almost died in my car.
Wow. What does he smoke or something?
No, no, no. He don't eat good. I mean, his
Oh.
cholesterol was really high and
Mm.
they were trying to do, um,
Spence.
like not they ended up doing like a quadruple. bypass because all his
Ooh.
arteries, everything was blocked.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so we didn't know. I mean, it was a ticking bomb.
Hmm.
But he doesn't know how to eat. I mean, he don't eat
Okay.
vegetables, he don't exercise. So I guess, I mean, it was
Has
gonna
he
happen.
modified that? Has he modified that now? Okay. Anyway, so but you're cooking for him, aren't you?
I'm cooking.
Okay, I see what the
Yeah.
problem is. Okay. Well, I hope he
I'm trying to
starts to
kill
eat.
him. No,
I hope he starts to eat better because I mean,
hopefully.
I was saying this the other day, it's easier to eat bad than eat healthy because eating healthy is expensive. It takes
It
time.
is.
You got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. It's almost like
Yeah.
we're almost
Yeah.
set up to fail in that. So,
Yeah.
and plus, you say he's a trucker too. I think truckers don't.
Yeah.
I mean, how? What
They're
type of
sitting
trucking
for
does he
so
do?
well, right now he's been over the road, he was doing that for a long time, but now he's working like at warehouse. It's at
Okay.
Kroger, so he moves like the trailer. So they tell him, Jose, can you move trailer, blah 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 to door, blah blah blah. So he's just moving trailers, in the
Yeah.
yard.
Yeah.
So
His
he's not
yard
over the
jockey.
road. Yeah. But still, I mean, he's working 10 hours a day and he's sitting for the most part. I mean, he only gets up to go to the bathroom or to eat
Hmm.
and then he's sitting again. So it's not good. It's not
That
good.
jo that job he does. I used to work at a trucking company, and that's a hard job to get.
Hmm. Yeah.
Everybody wants that position, so he'll probably
Yep.
never leave that. So you're gonna have to
Yeah.
just sneak in some fruit and vegetables in there, and when he
We
goes,
try. And then I don't know how. I mean, because we are short. I'm like 5'1". He's just a few inches taller than me. And that man can eat. I don't know. When I see him eating, I'm like, where do you put all that food? Because he's not a big, I mean, he's not a big guy and he's not
Mhm,
fat, but he eats a lot. So I don't
mhm.
know.
Yeah, you feeding him mofongo. That's what it is.
Mofongo. Yes.
Stop giving that mofongo to him.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
But let me ask you this: being married 37 years, congratulations on that. What advice would you give? You said your son is getting married here soon. What advice would you give someone about getting married? I know what I went through and what I've learned. What advice would you give a new person going into it?
Um, Communication. I mean, because
Yeah,
love is not all. Communication, I think, is a big part of it. And yeah, you have to do like the other things, like working on your relationship, like still going on dates with your partner and then
yeah,
having that time, um, because it's very easy to grow apart,
man,
when you're together for so long.
oof,
Yeah.
man, you're right.
But but yeah, I would say to talk and communicate you know, with your wife or your husband.
I think that's a good point you make too, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in life that we
Mhm.
forget to do those things. It's not always easy to communicate because
Yeah.
my first wife I was married to, she was a nurse and she was gone a lot. She was never
Mm.
there, and it was we'll put it like this, we're friends now. But like I said, I like what you said about communication. I think I'm gonna write that in my next book. I'm writing a relationship book. I think I'm gonna really delve into that. So that's a good point. Um, so yeah, so what else I want to ask you about that? I think that was it on relationships. I want to talk to you about some of the jobs you've worked to, because you had mentioned that you had the opportunity to drive a truck or two. I want to know how we got there and when you transitioned from not working into the employment field, what was that change like? So those are my two questions.
Okay. So, I mean, I started driving since I was 11. Back in
Ooh.
the days again, I used
Mm-hmm.
to um I used to tell my dad, can I go for a ride in the car? And he was like, oh yeah, go. And I'm like, okay. That I didn't do with my kids. I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, my dad was so irresponsible. The same thing when I was 16, I used to tell him, hey, papi, can I get the truck? Can I put diesel in the truck? And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, go ahead. And then my mom will be like yelling at me, Nana, get down, get out that truck, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bye, mom. Blah. And then I used to drive the truck. So I forgot. Okay, so that I mean, I never did that as a job. I just like it.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So not working, I feel like I enjoy my older two kids because I
Yes.
was a stay-home mom. And once I moved to Florida, I started working, and yeah, I haven't stopped. I mean, sometimes having two jobs, and it hasn't been easy. So that transition, I mean, my family helped a lot.
Okay.
My mother-in-law, and the older kids, watching the younger ones. Um, that's how I work on my master. I have my master's degree when I moved to Florida. So,
What? You got a master's?
yeah,
Okay, wait. What's your bachelor's in, first of all?
my bachelor's is in psychology. Yeah,
Okay. And the
and,
master's is in what?
and counseling, mental health counseling. Yeah,
Really?
I had plans. I
Okay.
was like, I had everything because I started college when I was 16.
Ooh.
Um, so I graduated like a year before, because I had all my classes, and then I started college, and then I got married at 17. So I was
Ooh.
still in school, but I had my plans. I was like, oh no, this semester I'm taking this and that. And I had it all planned. I'm like, okay, by 1992, I'm gonna have my doctor's degree in
Oh.
psychology. I wanted to be a forensic
Ooh.
psychologist.
Uh-huh.
So it didn't work out. I mean, because then I got pregnant and I stopped going to school. So when the babies were, a little older, then I went back to school, and yeah, never finished
Mm.
my doctorate. So when
You
I
got a
finished
master's,
my,
so you're doing good.
I had a master's. Yeah, yeah, and I have my auntie. She's my dad's baby sister.
Uh-huh.
And she lives like 5 minutes away from me. She's still pushing me. She's like, you have to go finish your doctor's degree. And I'm like, I don't have money. I'm still paying student loans. I
Oh man.
can't. I mean, I like, school and all that. But yeah, and I try to get my license here as a mental health counselor. Um, when I moved from Florida to here, I had all my hours,
Yeah,
but Indiana
different. Yeah.
requires 400 more hours than
Ooh.
Florida,
No,
and
I
it
go
has
back to
to
Florida.
be, yeah,
Get
it has
that.
to be like from from an accredited school, so like IU or something like that.
400?
hmm
Ain't
Yeah,
no way.
and a few years ago, I mean, I had to pay like $1,500 plus whatever the time, and then working full time, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. I think I had $65,000 school loan, and
Mm.
Biden, they sent me a letter and said it was paid off. They said that,
Okay,
when did they give me that? A couple months ago. I thought it was a
Papi
joke at first.
Biden, he forgot about me.
I don't, hey, they just said it's paid off, because
Mhm.
I would always, every time something come across and said, hey, student loan, because I filled out everything. I didn't care if it was a joke or hoax or anything. I was filling everything out. And then one day just said, hey, your student loans are zero. I was like,
Oh my gosh. That happened to my cousin too. And he owed like, I don't know if it was close to 60,000. And
mm-hmm.
he showed me that letter. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I want a letter like this. I'm still paying
Yeah.
mine, but I mean, it
Mm-mm.
is what it is.
Well, your
Yeah.
time is coming. I'm sure they'll probably get you too.
Yeah.
So what jobs have you worked since you have the degrees? What field? So what did you start out with then?
Um, so in Puerto Rico, I didn't have to work. I
Right?
mean, we didn't have the need. But in Florida, I started when I moved, I was working like in a daycare, this timeshare
Yes.
um
Yeah.
hotels and all that. So I was like in the daycare center, or we call it fun center. And then while the people, they were taking the tour, the property
Mhm.
tour,
Yeah.
we were watching the kids. Like, they were playing videos or playing with toys or whatever. And I did that maybe for a year or so. And then
hmm
I started working with the Head Start program. Um, as a it was a substitute teacher or something. Yeah, substitute teacher. And then I switched to be a social worker. Um, and I did that for a while. Then I don't know why I said, well, I want to work for the state to get benefits, whatever.
Yeah. Good benefits. Yeah.
So I went to do DCS. Mm-mm. I did it for 9 months only.
Nine
That,
months.
removing the kids from the houses, and
What
that
was
was
that
the
like? What was that like to
it.
remove? Wait,
It
wait,
was
wait.
really,
Kind of walk me through that. Did you get a call? Bring, hey,
yes,
need to go get this
yeah,
kid, or do you just go over and talk to them, or do you was going to
no,
get them?
yeah, we were. I don't know how it works here in Indiana, but in Florida, every time that we got a case or whatever, you have 20 hours to investigate, to start the investigation. I was a child protective investigator. That was what I was doing, and I had to call the police. Um, not to, I mean, people get intimidated, right? But it
Yeah.
was for our protection because you never know what you're gonna find, in the house or whatever. Not all the cases I had to remove children.
Okay.
So if I went to a filthy house, sometimes we give them, okay, I'm gonna give you 24 hours to clean this house. I'm gonna come tomorrow at the same time. If the house is not clean, I'm gonna take your kids. That happened quite a few times. Um, Other times, I mean, we didn't find the kids and we had to go and the kids were with grandma or another
Hmm.
relative. I remember the last case that I took, I removed the kids, it was three siblings. I removed them from the mom and then placed them with dad.
Oh, that's
And
rare.
yes, yes. I mean, but there was drugs and all that.
Okay.
So then I got another call from the same family. I mean, I had to remove the kids from that and then place them with an auntie or somewhere else because daddy was drunk all the time and the kids were
Hmm.
being neglected and blah blah blah. So that was towards the end of my career as an investigator, a child protective investigator. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. I have my master's already. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try work as a clinician. So I started working as a clinician, like a therapist, going to the houses and working with kids most of the
Hmm.
time. The
Hmm.
first case that I got were those three siblings, and I'm like, I'm not going to that house
Oh,
because those
wow.
kids they hate me. They
Yeah,
have
they already
seen
knew you.
like
Yeah. Hmm.
yes. So yeah, they had to give me another case. But yeah,
Mm.
um, so I did that job for a long time in Florida. I would say like until I moved here. So
Okay.
from 2005 to 2012, um, I was a clinician, working, and I used to go to the schools and to the houses
Hmm.
and work with children that had behavior problems or that were depressed or anxiety but most of the time were kids.
Yeah.
And then um, when I moved here to Indiana, I started working as a social worker with Head Start, the same job that I did in Florida. I did it
Okay.
for maybe 5, 7 years. I was doing it here. And then I switched. I did that here for 1 year. And then I switched to HealthNet, where I work now. But I was working as an assessment worker with the Healthy Families program,
Okay.
like with pregnant moms. So I was doing, and I was the only bilingual assessment worker. So I was going to the houses, offering the program, and I had a bag of diapers and things, like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
bribe the moms. Hey, look, we have this for you. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I had to do like 20 assessments in a month.
I guess that's not bad, but I guess it can because those notes take a while, don't they? The notes got to
Yes,
be
yes,
pretty
yes,
thorough.
yes.
Yeah.
Because it was like yeah, and we had like a time frame to put the notes in.
Right.
So I think it was like 24 hours or something like that. And then I
Yeah.
started working at HIP, working with the homeless population. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to circle back to one other thing. You said when you were going to a house, the house wasn't clean. I've worked in this field for a little while too. What would you consider a not clean house? Because I need to rethink some things.
Um it's different.
You mean like
It's
clothes on the
different.
floor?
Not close. Not clutter, or if you have hoarders, that's hazardous, situation. But when you see bugs, roaches, or it's not clean, or if there's no water, like running water, um, or electricity, and they have children, so things like that, that make the environment unsafe.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I need to write some stuff down because that's a good point. All right. So your dream job would have been using that PhD, right?
Yeah. I wanted to work with the VA.
Okay.
And I applied so many times and I'm like, okay, I'm tired. I mean, to be a case manager there, because they
Why
pay
the
more.
VA? Oh, because of
Um,
pay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, working with veterans and homeless veterans and all that, but they're very picky and your degree, you have to be like if I'm applying for a social worker, my degree has to be in social work, not
Okay.
in mental health. So things like that. And I'm
Wow.
like, okay, I'm tired. I'm getting old. So no. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I don't blame you. Let that stuff go. So since you have this background, can you kind of talk to people and get a read on the people of why they do things they do or some of the choices they made? Are you good like
um,
that?
sometimes,
Okay.
sometimes it's like, okay, oh, I didn't notice that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, sometimes I'm not paying attention, but yeah,
So
you learn. Uh-huh.
yes. So you can really help. It seems like you can be real beneficial to your clients because you have that background and those experiences. So I'm not that good at breaking people down and helping them. So I got
Mhm.
since you were almost a doctor, you were taking classes right on that PhD program.
No, I didn't start it. I didn't start the
Oh,
PhD.
okay,
No, yeah,
okay,
I wanted to, but yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I want to do my license to get my license as a mental health counselor. That's what I wanted
Hmm.
to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, like I said, if you decide to go back, it's not too late. I'm not going back, but I know some people do go back. My
Yes.
sister, she's going back to get her PhD now.
Oh
She's
wow.
57, and she's going back to get
Oh
her just
wow.
started.
Wow.
So people can do it.
Uh-huh.
We had talked about loan forgiveness with the Biden administration. Just wanted to touch quickly on what are your thoughts about the elections and politics and stuff. Where do you stand on those issues?
Yes. I don't know. My daughter, my oldest daughter, right? Well, my second one, um, she had taught me a lot. Because before I was like, I don't pay attention to this. I mean, I vote. I'm a Democrat. I go here. I go,
Yeah.
but without thinking.
Uh-huh.
Um, and after Trump, um, I think my eyes were open.
Yeah.
um, and we were talking earlier today. I'm like, yeah, we don't have like a good choice. I mean, because I don't like Biden either. I mean, I feel, and this is my opinion. I don't know that he hasn't done enough. And
Hmm.
then I think I had like high expectations. I don't know what Kamala Harris had done because it's like okay, they keep her. I mean, she's a vice president, but being the first woman and the first woman of color, being in that position of power, I was expecting for her to do like more, or
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe she is doing, but I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
because they
Right.
don't
Yeah.
they don't talk about that
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
I don't hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It's a lot going on. I know it often divides the country every 4 years and different things like
Hmm.
that. And people really get upset about it. So I always just ask, I try to stay neutral in politics myself because I don't vote. I'm not interested in it. I could care less. It just seems like they're I feel they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. So I just
Yeah.
feel I just stay back and people because I was at work not too long ago and someone was talking to me about it and really got upset with me about it because I don't.
Oh.
So but I was like, these people there. I just like to know where people
Ah.
stand. All right. Well, you know what? We're almost done with the show. We just have another section called Rapid Fire, where I just ask you like 7 or 8 questions really quick, and you just give me a quick response to them. Again, this is called a rapid fire questions, and I want to remind our guests that you listen to What's Up Aboard TV. Again, and my name is Woody Ward. My first question I have to you is: we had referenced mofongo earlier. Can you tell us what that is? What is mofongo, and how is it prepared? I've never had
Okay.
it. I just like the name.
You have to try it. Um, Mofongo is one of my favorite Puerto Rican plates,
Mm.
and it is green plantain. I mean, fried green plantain. Then you mash it like mashed potatoes, and you make balls. with that.
Uh-huh.
And of course you season that. You put garlic and you put salt and pepper and all that. Um, and then you eat it with whatever. I like it with pork, but
Mm-hmm.
then we call it carne frita.
Carne
So
frita.
carne frita. So it's like little squares of pork, like you cut it in squares or whatever, and then you fry it
Mm.
and you eat it with that mofongo, little bowls of mofongo. They also sometimes they stuff the mofongo with shrimp or with chicken or whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very simple to make. Yeah.
So again, you said you take the plantain and you
Green
and you
plantain.
the green. You mean so it's not it's like I'm thinking of green like a
Uh-huh.
banana green.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
but it's the plantain. The plantains are bigger. So you cut them. I mean, you have to peel them, right? Cut them,
uh-huh.
fry them,
Wow, that's
um,
a lot of work.
and then you mash, you smash them. And then when they're all smashed, you make like balls, like little balls of mofongo,
Uh-huh.
plantain, and then you eat them like that.
And they're
Yeah, it's
good.
really good.
You sure
They
they're
are
good? Because I'm
delicious.
gonna try it. I'm gonna try it next. I'm gonna find one this week. I'm gonna do
Listen,
it.
it could be very dry. They get dry because plantain. But that's why a lot of people they make like a garlic sauce on the side and then you just dip it in there and then you eat it
Mm.
with that garlic sauce. But it's delicious. It is delicious.
Is it similar to Jamaican food?
um I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
All
I
right.
mean, but it's very flavor. Our food it's not spicy, but it has a lot of flavor.
Okay. Now, do you like spicy foods?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I'm not a fan of spicy either, but I will dabble. So yeah. Next question. You said you had the opportunity to drive the large trucks before too. How big of a truck have you driven? Like a Ford pickup, a S10? How big of a truck have you driven?
Like a semi.
You drive the semis. Yeah.
Yes,
How
yes,
did
yes, yes.
how did how far did you go on it? Did you like drive around the lot or like on the road? Where did you go?
Yeah, it was well in Puerto Rico. I used to go with my husband when we didn't have children, right?
Yes.
Um, and I used to go with him because he had this route that he used to go at night, and it was like curves, and it was up the mountains, and he
Oh
had to go.
heck no.
I used to go with him, not driving there, but I used to go to drive in the highway. And then when we were going up the mountains, then he was gonna drive there because I
Man.
didn't do it. And
So
then
you
here,
you literally drove like miles in the truck.
yes, yes,
Oh man.
yeah, that was in Puerto Rico, yeah. But I never got the license. I was like, yeah, I should have got, the CDL or
Uh-huh.
whatever. I
Hmm.
never got it.
So how many gears were you able to ship? I know some trucks had 18, then some are automatic trucks now, some are
No,
nine.
those were, and I used to drive like the ones with two. Back in the days, my dad had one that had two sticks.
Oh
Like
wow.
one was like a little one on the side, and then the big one, the taller one. And
Man. So
I don't know, because it was low and high.
you a
I
real
guess
truck
like
driver.
and for the engine or something to have more, I don't know, more track or whatever it was.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was my dad had a 10 speed. So, and I think my husband too. It was a 10 speed. But yeah, I never used them all, but yeah.
So your husband would go to sleep and you just driving, shifting along, just driving.
Yep.
Ah, look at you.
Yeah.
You said you 5'1". How did you see? What did you how did that work?
It's an air seat and you go like and you
Oh,
put yourself up. And
yeah. So you can get in a truck right now and you can still drive it.
yes.
Wow,
Yes.
man. So you don't need a PhD. You've done
No.
too much stuff.
Listen,
Okay.
it's funny because my youngest son, he's in the army, right? He's a
Yeah.
soldier. He's 23, and he never liked trucks. Other than the opposite to his older brother. But my younger son, he never. He's like no, and then my husband was like, "Come on, Jose, help me clean the truck. Mm-mm. I'm gonna pay you. Okay, I go." That was it. So
And
what
there
he's doing in the army, he's a truck driver. He's a truck driver in the army.
there it is.
We
So
were
you probably got to
laughing.
You probably got a CDL there too.
Yeah, he does. Well, I don't know if he needs it in the army, but yeah, that's the
Right,
one
no.
that is in Texas. Huh?
Okay, so you probably don't need it there, but I'm pretty sure they're going to give it to you because when you get out, he can just
Yeah,
jump into something immediately.
yeah. Probably
'Cause
take the test and that's it.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
know the service, I will say that they will train you and get you a skill. Whatever you want to do, you will
Mhm.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question is, what are you most proud of in your life right now? What makes you smile?
Um, my family, I mean, it's always good to have. I think my kids are good kids, not because they're mine.
Of course.
um, but they are, I don't know, they're good people. You know, they
Oh,
work, they haven't got in trouble.
good, good.
Um, so yeah, my family and well now my grandkids. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Which kid is your favorite?
Oh my gosh, don't ask me that
I would
because
just
there's a fight.
it was a joke. Okay.
My
Um,
youngest one always say, I'm the favorite.
yeah. If you could
Yeah.
change anything about your life, what would you go back and change, if anything?
Um, I will say, um, I wouldn't get married that young.
I know that was young.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's young.
And
That,
I didn't need to. I mean, I was, and I think like I was a good kid. But I'm sorry, my son is calling me.
okay.
Um,
What made you
but
want to get
it
married
was,
that young?
I don't know. I didn't have to. I didn't
You
have
just,
any issues at home.
hmm.
Um, but yeah. So
Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
yeah.
Now, again, as I alluded to earlier, I said you have a very calm nature about yourself. I want to know when's the last time you lost your cool? What makes you get angry, if anything?
My husband.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Because yeah, I know because we got to get him eating some good, healthy, strong vegetables. Come across the street from work sometime on Wednesday, and let's get some of that food there.
Yeah.
Next question is, what type of music do you enjoy?
Mm, I like, well, Hispanic music. I like salsa. I like all kind of music, like romantic music. It depends on the mood.
Okay.
I like rap.
No
Bad
way.
Bunny, I had learned to listen to
What?
it because of my daughter. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
And can you dance too?
Yep, yep. I
Oh,
can dance. I
the
can
salsa
dance.
merengue, you can do all that?
Salsa, merengue, bachata, yep, you name it.
Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. Okay. What do you see yourself doing in 10 years from now? What would you like to be doing?
Um, Hopefully retired.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. Man, that would be nice to just
Yes.
not deal with
And
a rat.
enjoying more time with the family. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, do you ever get told that you look like any celebrities?
No,
You don't
not
look like
that
nobody. Just look like your mother and father. Okay, fair enough.
I look,
Uh,
listen, I'm a mix because I look like my mom. Like I have her type of body and the height, but my hair is like my mom's. But then I have my dad's eyes, the eye
uh-huh.
color and the nose, and I think the skin color too, because my
Mhm.
mom is a little darker. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Now, was your hair ever long before, or you just keep it at
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing? How long did
yeah,
you go?
like shoulder length.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it easy to manage when it's short?
yeah,
Short?
yes, of course, shorter.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Uh, two questions. Next to the last is, what was a purchase that you made in life that you regret? Something you bought, you said, why did I buy that? Did you buy a timeshare from yourself?
No, no. But my dad did, and I
Oh, you
learned from him.
gotcha.
I'm like, I don't know, that's a waste of money.
Yeah, you
Um,
got your father. Wow. Okay.
no, but I don't think I have regret.
No,
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 not
no
that I
bad
know.
purchases. Okay. I
No.
bought a few cars I shouldn't have, so that's my regret. I've learned. I
Oh well,
bought
yeah, yeah. Well, but it wasn't me. It was my husband, and I
what?
was fight. Listen,
He
one
picked a
time in
lemon.
Puerto Rico, and I know, uh,
He picked a lemon car.
this is what he did. He left me. at the beauty salon, right? And I
Hmm.
was getting my hair straightened and whatever. And then when he came back to pick me up, he came in a brand new car. And I'm like, what the heck? What you did? Oh, I just bought this car. I'm like, why? I mean, yes, that was a big
What
fight, but yeah,
was it, a nice car?
it was a brand new car. It was a minivan. And this
Ooh.
was like in 1990, whatever, 1996, 1997. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm like, why you did that? But yeah.
I bet you drove the heck out that minivan too. Love
Mm.
this thing. Okay. Final question in this round: Walmart or Target?
Target.
You don't know what you got against Walmart.
Why?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, Jeannie, it's been a fun, pleasing pleasure to have spoken with you today about hearing about your life. And before I read my final thoughts, is there anything else you want to add, clear up, or modify before I get into my final thoughts here?
No, no.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to share? Anything that I missed that we didn't get to talk
No.
about? Okay. All right. Are you on social media at all? If somebody wants to follow you, find out more, and see
Yeah,
where can they find you
I'm
on
on
social?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Under what name?
It's my full name, like Jean Inez
Okay.
Diaz, my last name, yeah.
Okay. All right. And you're on Instagram too. Okay. So all them
Mhm.
followers are gonna be trying to find out what you up to. All right. Well, let me go and get my final thoughts before we get out of here. My final thoughts are these. I was always told that we could do anything we always wanted to do, but that doesn't mean it's always easy to do. So I want to quote the great Zig Ziglar, and he said, "Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking ever will." So keep that in mind. Jeannie says she wants to be a PhD. I'm sure we'll find out about that later on. Because again, you can do it. We got to do it. Just got to put the metal to the pedal and make it happen. So again, I want to thank you, Jeannie, for stopping by today and blessing us with your presence and telling us more about your life and let us peek in there and see what's going on. A lot of people are scared to do that. So obviously you're a natural podcaster. So thank you for stopping by here today. And
Thank you. Thank
you're welcome. So everybody out there, remember, everybody has a story to tell, but we just want to know what's yours. Peace.
you.